And here we have our next worksheet for our light theme unit. It says, does light spread out? We're going to need a few tools for this hands-on experiment. We'll need a pencil, a flashlight, some masking tape to tape down the flashlight, as well as a large piece of white paper. And let's follow the instructions. It says, tape the paper to your desk. Lay the flashlight on the desk at one end of the paper and tape it into position. Turn on the light, the flashlight. Trace the outline of the beam of light with your pencil on the paper. Circle what you think is the brightest area and the dimmest area. Dim and bright are opposites. Put an S next to the source, that's where the light's coming from, and switch off the flashlight. Let's set up that experiment, and then we'll answer the questions at the bottom. I'm just going to show you with a piece of black paper. You can also get the light to project on that. But as we'll follow the experiment, we're going to use a piece of white paper. We'll use a bit of masking tape just to tape our paper down. And some masking tape to tape our flashlight down. That way it's not going to roll around on us too much. And we'll turn on the flashlight. There we go. And using my pencil, I'm going to trace the light beam that we see. And I'm going to circle where I see the light is the brightest. I think I'll actually write the letter B for brightest. And I'm going to put a circle where I see the light being the dimmest. I think I'll just write a letter D for dim. Let's also see what this looks like in the dark. Having the lights off really helps us again to sort of see how there's a brighter area of light, and then how the light sort of fades away till we reach a darker area. If I were to add some color, I'd probably make this area a darker, stronger color of light. And then as the light came out, this would be not as bright. Now we also need to make sure that we put an S next to the source of light. So here's our S. That's where our source of light is, the flashlight itself. Right? Now returning to the worksheet, it says, was the S closest to the brightest area or the dimmest area? Remember, the S was the source of light, or the flashlight. So was the brightest area closer to the flashlight, or was the S, the source of light, further away from the flashlight where the dimmer light of area was? Like here's our S. Here's where it was brightest. Here's where it was the dimmest. Yeah, the S was closer to the brightest area. So we can copy this word bright. So was the S closest to the brightest area or the dimmest area? The brightest. What happens to light as it travels away from its source? So what happened to the light as it got further away from the flashlight? Well, the brightness began to fade away. We call that dim. So the light got dim or dimmer, not as bright, faded away. Even though light can travel in a straight line forever across space, its brightness can quickly diminish. It can get dimmer and dimmer, become less bright the further it goes. That's our worksheet on Does Light Spread Out?